Newton. I'm a director on Rick and Morty and Teen Titans Go.
This is your first BlurCon because this is BlurCon first year. What made you want to come to BlurCon?
Well, like Hilton contacted me because he saw...
contacted you directly?
Yes.
Oh.
I think through Facebook. Pretty sure through Facebook.
Okay.
He saw me on the behind the scenes of Rick and Morty. He said, like, I love this show. Oh my God, a brother's directing on it. And then he found my Facebook page, and unless you know me personally, which my friends know me personally, I will talk a lot about politics, and I will go off on this country that we live in, like how it treats like people of color, LGBT, women, etc., etc. So he's like, this brother's woke. And so he contacted me on my Facebook. It's like, hey, we would love to have you on BlurCon because like you're a director on Rick and Morty. You seem like socially active and positive. I was like, cool, I would love to attend an event like this. Like, again, also me being a huge nerd. I've been like conventions my whole life, so the notion of going to a convention that celebrates diversity, people of color, black people specifically, I'm like, yeah, I'm 100% down for that. So
that's so interesting. How do you lean politically?
I'm definitely left of left.
Left of left? What's left of left?
I would call myself a dirty, rotten socialist.
Dirty, rotten socialist. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah,
and what's some of your passion things that you like to talk about on your page?
Well, I've also been attending and attending like Black Lives Matter meetings, specifically against like police brutality, gentrification in my neighborhoods. I grew up in like South City and predominantly Black and Latino area, and right now we're going through some like radical kind of gentrification things where like upper class white people are moving to areas because like the rent's low and housing's affordable, but they're also bringing in people and pushing out other people who've been there like their entire lives, and it's not fair for people who have no other economic opportunity, no places to go, for it to be pushed out of their neighborhoods that they've known their entire lives, especially if this country is not taking care of its people and keeping its promises to all people, all citizens of society. And we all know like how whenever they make new deals, like, oh, it's going to be the new promise of America, the new American dream, some people get left behind. Some people have always been left behind, and we need to correct that shit first before we start moving on, like making this better society that everyone keeps talking about. So if anything, I want to be not in charge. I want to be helping out to make sure that we create a responsible way of creating economic prosperity and opportunity for everybody else. And if anything, living in Los Angeles has taught me that, like, we are all equal, we aren't all treated the same, we need to get there first, and I'm not having any conversation, discussions otherwise. So Trump's Make America Great Again, we know what Make America Great Again really means, and it's not about making America great for people of color, because it's never been great for people of color and women and LGBT folks in this country.
I agree. So leads to my next question. Since you're very vocal on your page about this, how many industry people have you lost over your political leanings?
So far, none.
None?
We'll see. I feel like because of the popularity of this show, and animation might be a little different, because if I was like a live action film star, or not even film star, if I was just in live action, the politics are a little heavier, my face would be vocal and my voice would be like a little broader. So there's like, oh, we gotta clamp down what you have to say. But I'm in animation, no one cares what I have to say.
Really?
I post on Twitter all the time. I've been doing that for like at least 5 or 6 years, and like no one cares what I have to say, so no one's clamped down on me yet.
You don't have any viral tweets?
No.
Really?
No, really. But I mean, I even follow like left-leaning like news feeds, activists, Democracy Now.
But what do you read?
I don't read as much as like I go to like certain media sources online. There's like Real News, pretty good. It's like Democracy Now is like always my go-to. Amy Goodman's really like nails shit down. I've never seen so many people of color on a white news network, even though it's not white. But they just kind of like lean left and lean activists.
You talk about you left leaning and you haven't lost any friends over it.
Friends or jobs yet.
Jobs yet.
Yeah.
What do you consider an ally?
An ally is someone who kind of like understands the problem, recognizes their role in the problem, and then will either supplement, never take control, but also like support the ideas of a movement, of a social movement that like disadvantaged or oppressed people or marginalized people, I should say, are trying to correct. And if they fit those criterias and don't try to check or challenge like the way like those people try to obfuscate their way from oppression, that's fine. And really, that's just a matter of knowledge. And like an ally can also just be someone who's like, I recognize there's a problem, I want to find ways to help, but I may not be always there for that. Cool, just recognize there's a problem. So either you're on board or you're not on board, but don't get in my fucking way is my problem. And too often I have to deal with people, friends of mine, people I've not grown up with, people I've known for a while, and they'll try to check me, and I'm like...
Check you how?
They'll try to like, for example, when we were dealing with like the Ferguson uprising and just general like uprising against police brutality, I've had friends tell me like, rioting's not the right way. I'm like, really? When someone's on your neck and they put their boot on your neck for centuries, and when you're finally like, fuck off my neck, get off my neck, it's like, hey, you swatted my foot, you hit my foot. That's not the right way. Like, nah, we're not playing that game anymore. It's not even like a tit for tat. It's like, you've already involved in systems of oppression. Violence has already been implemented on us. Reacting violently is only part and parcel of a necessary reaction. When someone hits you, you hit back. It's almost like it's a direct reaction to that. So yeah, you can say, oh, let's do it the nice way. Let's have a talk and peaceful conversation transition. But when we talk to them, they don't listen. And when we talk to them, then they hit us. And we keep talking to them, and they hit us back. And then they kill our children. And they suppress us. And then they move away from us. And they ignore us. And I'm like, you know what? At some point, I'm going to fucking throw a rock at you. Simply because I'm frustrated. And it's like, oh, you can be frustrated all day, but I can't be frustrated ever? No. We're not playing that game anymore.
That's interesting that you say that. Yeah. Do you think white people could be a true ally to people of color? And do you think straight people could be a true ally to queer people?
I think potentially yes. But they have to do the work. They have to do their homework.
What do you define as work?
So I've been participating in a lot of the Democratic Socialists. And there
Who
are
are some of the people that lead the party in your area that you like or support?
Oh, you mean like political parties? Mm-hmm. Well, the Democratic Socialists isn't a political party. It's just a group of people.
Okay.
I particularly like the Greens. And especially in LA, it's mostly like Latino Chicano communities. Mm-hmm. So like that's largely what the community base is around there. So if anything, I mean, LA, Los Angeles, California in general was stolen from Mexico and Latino people. So if anybody needs to take it back, it needs to start from them. I mean, they bank up the ground base. The rest of us are kind of like coming in on the game later. But if anything, I would say allyship is, like I said before, it's like an understanding, and it's definitely knowing your role, not trying to overstep your role. Like I consider myself a feminist. Is that like?
You do.
I do. And it's like I am, and I'm even afraid to use that sometimes because I would also say, yeah, I would also say I would say I'm a feminist ally, if anything, mm-hmm. because I don't want to say anything that would hurt the movement, mm-hmm. and I'd be cautious against that, and mm-hmm. I should be cautious against that. So if a woman or a feminist tells me, hey, that's probably problematic for X, Y, and Z, if I get offended or if I get challenged that, then I'm not being a good ally, and that's where that being an allyship can fail. And I think a proper ally recognizes, like, that person's probably right because they understand their worldview better than I do, and I should shut the fuck up and correct myself. That's it.
That's reasonable.
Yeah. And that, to me, that's the knowledge and education and trying to support. And it's always a try. Because even, like, certain people, like, even certain people of color, certain LGBT and certain women don't always get it right all the time. Because clearly there's infighting even among those groups. So people are trying to figure that out all the time. And what I would say, having that outside voice and coming in isn't going to be necessarily helpful or probably even welcomed in some cases. Like if I'm a man and I see two women arguing about like what is defined, like what womanhood and feminism is, my role in that isn't to really come in and say, hey, I know what's going on. My role in that is just kind of like listen, go.
Who are some feminist writers or bloggers or authors that you read?
There's Anita Sarkeesian. She did Feminist Frequency, female blogger. Angela Davis is amazing. I just finished reading her book about race, class, and
that's
gender.
What she told me earlier today when I gave you the poster.
Yeah, only because I saw your book too. I was like, oh my God, Angela's great. Shirley Chisholm from back in the day was awesome. There's also, she's an atheist, and also I'm an atheist, so that's my other sticking point.
Are you an atheist?
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
How do you feel as being a black nerd atheist?
Sometimes isolating, but who cares? Yeah, I mean, loneliness.
Any black nerd atheists?
Yeah, there's plenty of us.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, see? It's just we don't always come out because religion plays so much as a part of our community. So it's like I get it on that front. So I'm like, all right, people gotta do that because that's where our community base is. But like, I don't actually believe in like a higher power, or any gods or anything. I believe in people. I believe we gotta deal with the shit we got on this planet.
Are you a science person?
Yeah. Who wouldn't be? It's why we have chairs. And it's why how we understand the world. It's simply a process and mechanism of how we understand the world we live in. But what was it going? Oh, Madame Maria O'Hare is like a great like atheist ally from back in the day. And there's also, I can't think of her name right now. Oh God. I just saw a documentary of her. She was mentioned in I'm Not Your Negro, James Baldwin. Terrible.
That's okay.
Fannie Lou Hamer.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, that was the last one on that list.
I'm going to say a couple names, and I just want you to give me your feedback, which was the first thing that comes to your mind when you think about it. Clarence Thomas.
Oh, God. I mean, here's the thing about dudes like that. It's just like, okay, you get in that position of power, that should be important. Right, left, blue, whatever, red, blue, whatever. But, like, you just can't be, like, a complete sellout. You just can't be, like, a complete sexist misogynist. And he's just on the Supreme Court sleeping half the time, which gives cover to all those people. Like, hey, we got a token black up here. Isn't that great? Nah, fucking Clarence Thomas is a goddamn asshole.
Okay, that's interesting. Charlemagne the God.
I don't know her.
You don't know who that is?
Yeah, explain.
I give a name, you tell me your reaction
Okay,
when you
fine.
think about
I'm sorry. I'll look her up later. No.
Are you high?
No.
Okay. Do you want to be high?
No, I'm okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jem and The Holograms.
Great 80s cartoon. Fantastic theme song.
But
I
can
didn't
you sing
see
it?
Huh?
Can you sing it?
Oh, music's distracting me right now. Fuck it. I know the Misfits part. We are the Misfits. Our songs are better. We are the Misfits. Yeah. Jim is my name. Jim. Oh, God damn it. Jim, nothing else is the same. Jim is my name. Jim. I was glad it came back on when Hasbro had their show. Hasbro has like their cartoon channel, and they were replaying Jim. I didn't see the movie. I don't know if it's any good or not. I haven't heard anything positive. I see a lot of head shakes, so yeah, I'll take that as a definite no. Such fucking 80s glam rock too. Like the animation was decent. I felt like Jem and The Holograms was like a prototype to like Sailor Moon. Like they felt like very much you can throw the Jem and The Holograms.
With synergy in Sailor Moon.
Yeah, kind of their attitudes are like secret superheroes, but also kind of like very much like, oh, we're a group of girls, and also like there's a cute boy we hang out with, but that's about it. But it's still all about us, and he's only like fucking there to be a Ken doll. So.
Game of Thrones.
I love Game of Thrones.
Who's your favorite character?
Oh boy, that's so rough. I might have to go with my little man Tyrion.
Yeah?
Yeah, because season 2, when he's the Hand, I mean, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen season 2, what you're not doing. But when season 2, when he's the Hand, and just the way he kind of works that system, there's one bit where he's talking to Littlefinger, Varys, maybe a sister too, and at one point he tells them all different things, and then he'd come back at him, and he like based on who got what information, he knew who was like, oh, and the Maester too, that old guy, and at one point he does that, and he's like, now I know who's leaking, and now I know who's throwing jail. I think it was that Maester, the old guy. And I was like, that's fucking brilliant. Khal Drogo, I miss that dude. Daenerys is great. The fucking breaker of chains. Grey Worm reminds me of friends of mine. So when I see Grey Worm, I'm like, I know that brother. Sorry he lost his balls, but he's kind of cool.
He's badass, though.
Yeah, he's that guy.
I have 3 random questions that my followers for Fabulize Magazine want to know. So it's really random. Have you ever been told that you're too black for something? Like too black to work here, too black for this concept, too black for a project not being accepted?
No. I've had the opposite when I was growing up.
Really?
Because, like, again, I grew up in South LA. So I guess the nerd part of me, where I was like, why do you talk like that? I'm like, just talking. But, no, if anyone's thought anything like that, they've never told me. And I've never felt like my blackness was, kept me personally out of a job. But like any job I've had, I think I mentioned on stage, I've gotten through direct friends and direct connections. So people know me, and they still say, Bryan's awesome, we want to work with him. The closest I've had to that is maybe like pitching projects. If I pitch a project and it does happen to feature predominantly people of color or women, the excuse you sometimes get from various networks, no one network is immune to this, is that they'll do things like, well, we already have a project with another like person of color or a black person or a Hispanic person or a woman lead, so we can't do that idea simply because, and that's just like kind of like lazy bullshit. It's like their tokenism. It's like, oh, we already got a show with a female lead, so we don't need another one. That's silly. Yeah, so that's probably the closest I've got from that in this industry in my experience in lifetime. But I'm sure other people have had similar and different experiences.
Have you pitched characters that were denied on like one different network but picked up somewhere else?
Not characters, but ideas.
Like what kind of ideas?
So, I'll be as tactful for this as possible.
No.
Yeah.
Don't be politically correct.
No,
we don't like that.
I'm not being politically correct. I'm just trying to say,
Or respectable.
because I'm not super sure.
Don't give us the RT.
Basically, I couldn't take this to court.
Okay.
It's only my like feeling on the matter.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying by being tactful.
Okay.
Yeah. Because if I had all the information, I was like, no, this motherfucker did this, that. No, I don't have that. So I pitched a couple episodes of Titans, which on season 1, I'm like, these are my like 10 episode ideas, and they were like. The guy who told me, like, I forget his name. I always called him Silver Fox. He's one of the producers. But he would say, oh, yeah, well, these are very sitcom-y, and, like, they're not really what we're looking for. I'm like, all right, cool. I mean, we're doing a television show, like sitcom, whatever. Later on, like, subsequent seasons, like some I worked on, some I hadn't, were like season 2, 3, 4, and 5, or not 5 yet. People have told me, friends of mine who were working on the show, is like, hey, that's kind of like that episode you did back in the day. I'm like, I knew that was a good idea. Either they didn't, there's no way, I won't say that. Either they kind of remember that idea and it sparks something later, that's me being kind, or it's just later on they're like, oh yeah, we probably should have done that originally. Like I pitched the Thanksgiving episode, we'd done that one, which I bordered on. They've done episodes where the Titans go in their retro clothes, which I even did designs for prior to that one. I'm like, come on, man. At least, like, give me the credit. At least say, oh, Bryan gave us a good spark for that, but no.
Does that make you mad?
It only makes me, like, in some ways I feel vindicated, in other ways I just needed the credit. Because other people got credit for their ideas. Like my friend Stone, he got a whole episode where they got to pitch the Birds episode. And I was like, that was their idea. And they get to like put their names on that. All I wanted was like my name for that credit or that design. Yeah.
Will we ever hear Wu-Tang on Rick and Morty?
Who knows? I think Justin's a fan. For sure, that's all his call. I mean, the whole fact we got DMX on that one season was because like Justin really liked that song. That's definitely gonna be his call. There was a couple of guests we almost got on third season. That I can't say simply because it didn't happen. But
who would you like random? Like who are you listening to right now?
Jesus, Run the Jewels is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I have like weird tastes. Like there's a French artist called like Woodkid. They use his music a lot in like commercial work. And then, God damn it, heard someone just recently. It was someone new, but like I have to ask my friend who that person. Like sometimes you'll hear like a song's like, it's a pretty good song. Who does that? And they'll tell you the artist. And like I need to look up that person. I'm still behind on that one. Yeah. And Beyonce's nice.
Beyonce.
Oh.
Everybody loves Beyonce.
Yeah. And the latest Jay-Z album.
You like it?
Fucking good stuff. He did a music video. I mean, this probably won't be surprising anyone. His animated music video he did for the Story O.J. Simpson thing is probably one of my favorite shorts of all time because he basically uses all like the black stereotypes we saw of like black people from like the early cartoons from the 30s, 40s, and 50s. He does that style, but then he like really juxtaposes it with the real American black experience, like lynchings and like oppression and like us trying to like gain what we can, but also being suppressed by systems like the Klan and like American capitalism and all that shit. So that music video is fascinating. I think that's like everyone should watch it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for stopping by.
No problem. Thanks for
I
having me.
appreciate your time.